Hi friends, it's Christine of Hollow Sands Create. How is everyone today? It's Sunday, September 19th, and this is episode number 30. Welcome to my channel. This is a channel about cross stitch and a couple other crafty endeavors. Today we're mostly going to talk about cross stitch. If you're a new person who's wandered into my channel, I hope that you'll find a little inspiration, maybe want to visit with me for just a little bit. And if you're a returning viewer and or subscriber, thank you so much for hanging in with me, coming back to see what else I'm up to. And I hope everyone is having a fantastic Sunday. It's almost fall, so everybody's getting out their fall decorations. I'm seeing on Instagram tons of autumn and fall decorating, and it's very inspirational. Today I actually got several of my mums planted, and we're supposed to have a cool front move through, I think Monday night, and it's going to lower our temperatures by, looks like a good 15 to 20 degrees, and I am actually very thrilled about that. So anyway, so let's get to what we've got to talk about today. I have a ton on the agenda. Unfortunately, it has been a little longer than I had anticipated in getting a video made, but I have had so much going on. Last time I filmed, it was Saturday, August 14th. Shortly after, we had a Needlework Expo, which was last week in August. So it was a decent amount of time spent getting ready for that. Then after that, I had closed the shop for a few days and was prepping to attend Quilter Station, the Cross Stitch Extravaganza 2021 retreat, which is held in Lee Summit. I'm here in Kansas City, so for me it was just about a 35-minute drive, which was really nice. And then right at the tail end of the retreat, my daughter, Brittany, who had flown in with my granddaughter, Alaska, into the U.S. She flies in from Italy, where she lives, and she, of course, landed in New York. My husband, who's working in Rhode Island, picked her up, spent a couple of days with her, there while he was finishing up work, and then they drove across. She, believe it or not, someone who lives in Europe and does as much flying as she does, she's actually afraid to fly. So he drove her from Rhode Island. They stopped and visited his sister and some family along the way, and arrived right as I was getting ready to come home for the retreat. So they got here on Friday, and retreat ended on Saturday, and came home. So I got to visit with them. My daughter Savannah flew in from Seattle and stayed for a couple of days, and then she had to fly to Chicago for work. But that was going to be her only opportunity, really, to get to see her new niece, other than the FaceTiming that we do. So, and of course, my son is living with me here, so we actually had all three kids together for the first time in quite some time. We're kind of thinking maybe like 3 years. We were trying to remember when last time Britt was over here, and I couldn't remember. The whole COVID thing has really jacked me up as far as that whole missing year. Sometimes I think things were just last year, and then other times I think it was a longer ago. So anyway, but it was very great to have all of them here. Brittany is still here with the baby, and we're just enjoying every single day. So there's just been a lot going on, and this is the first time that I've had to really carve out a little bit of time to film. So thank you for your patience. Today's talk, what are we going to talk about? Well, I've got some finished and some framed things that I'm going to show you. I've only got a couple of whips. Got a couple of shout outs, some Stitchy kindness. We're going to talk about the retreat, and I've got some stash enhancement. And of course, we're going to have our segment on Just Saying. So I'll feature a couple of things that have to do with floss threads today. And then, of course, I've got some giveaway winners to announce and some new giveaways. So let's jump right in, why don't we? So I mentioned fall and the fact that obviously we're, first day of fall is coming this week, and everybody seems to be kind of getting into that fall mood. I had pulled out a few things in the house that I kind of begin to complement my August decorating, which is mostly sunflowers and, you know, those types of colors. I put away the patriotic, pull out my sunflowers and just strictly summer types of things. And then at the beginning of September, I kind of filter in some fallish types of, you know, stitching as well. So I just pulled down just a couple of things to show you, and I'll probably have a bit more that I start to pull out over the next 2 weeks that I'll, maybe I'll show you some of those things as well. But the first one I wanted to show you is, this is from Waxing Moons. It's called Simply Autumn, Waxing Moon Designs. And I stitched this quite some time ago and originally had it framed, and then decided to pull it out of the frame that I had in, put some fabric on the back, and I actually have some little stands that I put this on, and it stands in the middle of a trencher bowl, and underneath I fill that bowl with all kinds of like fallish type potpourri, pine cones, and just that kind of stuff in that bowl. So thought I would just show you that. That's kind of the first one. And then this one I stitched, I want to say 2 years ago. This is Pumpkin Topiary. Sorry about that. From Scissortail Designs. And it's just the cutest little stitch. And I stitched this up, I believe it was 2019, and mounted it on some board. Then I found this little just decor thing at Walmart, zipping through, that was just this board. And then it has actually like a little twine deal you can hang. I mounted my piece on here, added the orange cording around, added in the little pumpkins that I just clipped off of, you know how you can buy just the little inserts into for wreaths and things like that. The name of it's kind of escaping me, what I'm trying to think of. And then glued on some raffia, and this basically just sits on a little easel, and I just love it. It's just a simple, easy finish. And next one I'm going to show you, this is the last one I'm going to show you, just of the few things that I have out for the beginning of September. And this is Prairie Grove Peddler, I believe. I stitched this an awful long time ago, but it's just one that I really like. It's God colors each leaf with a glorious shade. Enjoy while you can, as soon they will fade. And I'm pretty sure this pattern was Prairie Grove Peddler. I probably showed this, maybe last year or the year before when I kind of first started doing Flosstube, but it's just one that I just love it every time I get it out. So it's really pretty. I no longer have that pattern. So, and I'm pretty sure it was stitched on like a 32 count Jobelin. I believe it's a Jobelin. So there are those, just a couple things that are hanging up. Again, I'm down here in my workroom, so I'm standing, so I'll just be kind of moving around a bit. Wanted to show you, last time I did show you that I had finished my Feast of Friendship, and it came back from the framer. I'm so happy with this frame and how it turned out. Now, I did not put glass on, but I think I've gone ahead and hung it up, and I may just leave this hanging year round. I don't know that I'm just gonna make it a seasonal. I may just leave it hanging year round, but I really, really loved how it came out. So, and I was really, really happy with this frame. And I will tell you, I just got this framed at Michael's. I went in, and I will say I probably kind of grilled the lady for just a little bit, who does the needlework framing. She's the only one in that particular store who does any needlework framing, so I was happy about that. I asked her how she framed. We talked about, you know, pinning versus lacing and all that kind of thing, and she had it done in less than 2 weeks, and I was pretty happy. So I do have several other pieces, and I think I'm going to go ahead and maybe take another piece, you know, into her. The next one that I've got to show you, I'm very happy about, as everyone, well, if you've been following me either here or on Instagram, you will know that my Memorial Day project that I start is one of Paulette Stewart from Plum Street Samplers, one of her patriotic Rhode Island samplers, Heritage Sampler, Constellation, Equality Sampler. And my goal is always to finish it by Labor Day. So last year I did New Constellation and did that. This year, it was the Heritage Sampler. I had to go back and get this one. This was actually the first one that she designed. And I will tell you, and she and I were emailing back and forth, and she did tell me that this particular one is so far her favorite. Her father came up with the name for it, Heritage Sampler, and she just said it's just her favorite. And here is my finish. And I'm sorry, I had it folded because I took it to retreat with me. There were a few ladies that I had met at the end of April, beginning of May, up at the Midwest Cross Stitch Retreat, who asked me if I had it finished to bring it with me, and so I did. So you can kind of see. Now I'm going to pull this kind of close and so that you can see each of the sections. I will say, you know, every time I kind of look at a section, I think, oh, the pumpkins and corn, that's my favorite. But then when you see George Washington with his hand on his knee, I think, oh, that's my favorite. And that White House and that section, let me tell you, that's no joke. That was a lot of stitches. There's the bottom. And I'm sure several of you have, you know, obviously this is not a brand new pattern. So you've seen this, or maybe you've stitched it. I stitched mine on 40 count Chantilly Cream by Lakeside Linens, which is the same linen that I stitched New Constellation on. And this one will go to total framing, because I had already spoken to Terri when they framed Constellation for me about using the same frame and fillet for Heritage Sampler. So I was waiting to send it. I did finish it on Saturday night before Labor Day Monday. So I gave myself a whole day. But I wanted to wait and show it to everyone here before I mailed it. So I'll be getting that mailed out to Total Framing this week. So very happy about that. Very happy. All right, let's move on to what I've been working on. Well, of course, it's September, so that's Sampler September. And I did go back through and pull out some things. I did pull out whips. And what I got started with was Sarah Spencer. And this is from Hands Across the Sea Designs. This was, I believe, their first little gem. So it's a download that I purchased. And I'm stitching this on 40 count Little Bunny, I believe. Oh, you know, I had that information. Let me see. No, 40 count Baby Sheep by XU Designs. And here's my progress. Hopefully you can see that. So Sarah clearly, there you can kind of really see the red. Sarah clearly loved red. And these little birds here are actually red and green. These little birds are red and yellow. Here, just my ring is DMC. I'm just stitching it with the DMC threads. And I really like this. I like stitching with that red. It's really pretty, really pretty. So that's Sarah Spencer. So I stitched that one for the first week, but the one thing with Sarah is when I was looking at knowing I was going to retreat on the 9th and 10th, I thought, you know, she doesn't have any areas that are solid stitching. And I wanted to prep something to take that was solid stitching for retreat in case, you know, I actually did some stitching. And I did actually do a little bit, not a tremendous amount, but I did do a little bit. So what I took with me to retreat was Hannah Tingey, or Hannah Tingey, however you want to say her name, 1823 from the Scarlett house. Now, to me, she's a Christmas sampler. I started this along with Christy from Crosshatch Quilts. I think she launched this Sal, and we started at, I believe, Thanksgiving last year. So I took Hannah, and this is where I got with Hannah. I'll show you. This is Hannah. So now what I stitched, and I'm stitching Hannah with the NPI silks, and this is 46 count vintage buttercream by Lakeside Linens. And what I stitched at retreat is this line going out and back. I did stitch the trunk of this tree, and I actually stitched about 3/4 of that tree. I don't know if you can see, I'll get it up close, but there you go. You can see that the tree actually has 2 colors in it. And then just this past couple of days, when we got back from retreat, I didn't do any stitching. The kids were here. We had activities and things we were doing, and, you know, grilling out, and just, you know, stitching took a back seat. But just the end of this week, I did pick it up, and I finished. I think I just had like a little corner of the tree to finish, and I did the butterfly, and I just love that butterfly. So I was going to keep going with Hannah, but, you know, I have to say, I've been watching everybody posting their fall pieces. My friend Ginger Shull is like needles on fire, and she's showing all of her fall displays, and I was just like, oh my goodness. So I will say that I did pull out one of the retreat pieces that we received, and I'll show you that in just a minute when we start talking about that, and I'll show you what I did. I started it at retreat just because I wanted to say that I started a project at retreat. You know, not very much, right? Probably maybe 40 stitches. I pulled that out yesterday, and I'll show you in just a minute what progress that I did on that. So because I just couldn't stand it, I had to stitch some fall. Okay, so there's the whips so far. One more. Let's go ahead and talk about retreat, since I have been talking about that. I'm going to do a little bit different introduction. My good friend Kay Dunlap is coming in and stitch a little on Instagram. I can actually verify that. Yes, come in and stitch a little on Instagram. Kay. Kay went to the Attic summer school, and for her birthday, which was the same time she was out there, she said it was the best birthday present she could have ever given herself. She absolutely loved it. And she brought me back just the sweetest stitchy kindness. The Attic needlework where samplers rule. It's just the neatest little board, but you can put all of your little things, sit it next to you. And I absolutely love this. Thank you so much, Kay. She got me that, and then she got me this sweet little thread keep, which I really love, and it has some like some ruler finishing twill tape. Anyway, thank you, Kay. So I love this community. So I'm going to launch from that stitchy kindness, and I'm going to talk about the stitchy kindness first about retreat. Again, this was the 9th and the 10th. My friend Becky, Socks for Mom, flew in from Dallas and I picked her up on Thursday. And then we immediately drove from the airport to a fabric store called Stashworthy Fabrics here in the Kansas City area, and did some shopping there. Then went right from there to Quilter Station, and then on to the hotel. Actually, we went from there to dinner, and then dinner to the hotel. And then you start meeting everybody, and people are exchanging things, and it just was, I don't know, just very exciting. And the retreat, I honestly still feel like I'm just now kind of catching up on sleep just from that retreat high I think that you get. But the kindness began almost immediately. Some of the things that I received right off the bat, Becky, who is my thread ring guru, gave me a little packet of 3 more. Let me see, I was gonna put these up against something just so that you can see them a little better. Let me pull my board that I show. She makes the best little thread keeps, and she's always so kind when she and I are stitching something together, or she knows that I'm working on something. She will make the corresponding thread keep. So this one is Sarah Spencer. This one is a peacock, which, want to see that? She and I are going to have a new start for our birthdays in October. Manor at Peacock Hill by Brenda Gervais. And then this one was just a cool Christmas, Father Christmas, and it has the neatest like little Christmas tree charm, if you can kind of see that. I'm not doing a very good job here. Father Christmas. So right off the bat, I received those from Becky. And then at our tables, as everybody's starting to get seated, the gifts and the Stitchy kindness is like in full force. So one of the ladies who belongs to the Stitch Club here, and it was her first retreat, that's Linda Eisenberg, but everybody knows her as Lenny. And she made the sweetest these little cards you see, made with love, Lenny Stitches. And she gave us these little bags, and she crocheted these little flowers, put on a little sweet button and a little scissor fob, and everybody's little buttons said something different. Mine says stash. I don't know if you can kind of see that, stash. But I saw all different ones that she had put, different little sayings, thread related, stitching related sayings, and it's got the little 2021 charm at the bottom. Just the sweetest thing ever. And Lenny is just a joy to get to know. And I want to just say, thank you again, Lenny. See you in a couple of weeks. So I love getting to see her every Saturday. She just always has such a smile on her face. Another lady who actually is local, I'm sure a lot of you watch her Flosstube, is Christy Green, who's Daisy K's Primitives. And she passed out these little envelopes that say from Christy Green. And it was just full of all kinds of little sweet goodies. The little pins that you can use to put, like for finishing. I'll kind of show those to you so you can kind of see for finishing. And then she had the sweetest little scissor stickers and little tiny miniature thread drops, which were really cute. Look at those. I think those are just the sweetest little miniature thread drops. And then of course a daisy with a needle in it. So that was all from Christy. And then one of my Flosstube idols is Shanda from Stitching in Idaho. Love, love, love her Flosstube and her inspiration, and just very excited to meet her. And she gifted me with this little guy, and she calls it her Cheddar. When she was at Quilter Station, she was buying all kinds of these fallish, orangey, you know, looking type fabrics, and she called it her Cheddar because they look like cheddar cheese, I guess. And is that not just the sweetest pincushion? I absolutely love this. Thank you, Shanda. I treasure this, and it's actually in my fall decor. I have it set up, so it'll go back upstairs and set up into my fall decor. And I had some thread cards from Miss Becky. And Judie Pennington gave everybody the sweetest. I would call this, you know, really, I would attach this to a project bag because you can attach it on the zipper. And I just think it would make the sweetest little thing for, you know, to attach to a project bag. But you could do whatever what you wanted with it. And I hope I'm not missing anybody. There were a couple of times where you came back to your seat and there was something new there, and I wasn't sure exactly who some of the things came from. But I did get cards from Ray Niles. She has the really nicest, and this is her grandmother. What a beautiful lady. So, some thread cards from her. Thread cards from Kay. Come in and stitch a little. Thread cards from Polly Kaylee. Isn't that pretty? And I like the way she did hers on the back. So I got those. And then Lisa, who's Prims on Greenway. And I just kind of found her Flosstube, and I've watched the first ones. I went back to the beginning, started watching, and then I heard her, of course, talking about coming, and I was very excited to meet her. Just such a adorable lady, so nice, just so generous, so sweet. She had, and if you've watched her channel, she already described what she had set up her own little crafting station at where she was sitting at the table, and you had the opportunity to go over and make these. Aren't these just the cutest? Now I've got to wind some thread on it and then put it into one of my pin cushions, but I just love this. She had the glue, she had everything all right there for everybody, and it was just absolutely the sweetest thing ever. Now, in our bags, we did have some scissors, a cute little Notions pouch. Isn't that sweet? And this lovely cross stitch extravaganza 2021. Some felt on there and a needle. So, you know, I would assume, I don't know if you could, I guess you could use this as a corner square probably. It's not really marked for one, but you could use it as a corner square. So those came in our bags. And then I had a couple of things that, again, and my apologies, because if you're watching, I'm so sorry that I didn't get the name. These lovely pins, and since I've got a nice tomato pin cushion collection, I'm thrilled with these. And Bee Friendly Wildflower Seeds. Love, love, love this. And a little bag just full of the cutest little floss drops. Love that. So again, if this came from you, please, you know, comment. You're watching, please comment and tell me who you are, because I would make a little note and attach so that I know who I got things from. So the retreat itself was just hands down fantastic. I'm sure if you've watched some Flosstubers already, I'm pretty sure Lisa Kindred Stitcher already put one out, and I know Lisa from Prims on Greenway put hers out. I watched hers, and everybody's been talking about it, and it just was, you know, 100 ladies, and just really just very inspirational, and it was a lot of fun. If you ever get the opportunity to go to a retreat, or you know, come even to Quilter Station. Rita's going to start doing 2 retreats a year, one at late April and one in September. Come, I highly recommend it. It just was just a great experience. We had I'm just going to kind of zip through because there's a lot of people who are giving the same information that I am. But we had 2 designers each day. On Friday, we started with Hello from Liz Matthews. I just love her. Just the absolute sweetest girl. And I'll show you what she did. She gave us this beautiful, beautiful sampler. Pink Cottage School. Now, she did an adaptation so that she took out, she changed it like this, so she took out a ton of that over one stitching. So the saying in here, she took that out, which I, for one, you know, this part here, was not unhappy about, but look at these butterflies. They're so beautiful. So we were gifted with that. And then the project that she had us doing was this absolutely, she printed a copy of the model onto some linen, and I have to finish mine. It's not totally finished. And then she printed on fabric birds and butterflies, and you could go in and cut out, here's, I'll show you some of the project that I still have to finish. These, and kind of, now I did like a, you know, a glue dot to kind of hold them in place, and, you know, and create your own. And then I'll go in with some of the threads she gave us and actually, I think I'll do some different kind of embroidery to actually attach them. And then she gave us this whole round that you can cut out. And once you have everything and all your, you know, your fabric, you know, I'll do like a round, you know, where you pull it through and tighten it, and then you can put that piece over it, and it hides all of where your stitching is. And then the ribbon on top. Isn't that just the coolest, craftiest idea? She gave us all these hoops. I mean, just a different project, and I absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. Now, what I'm going to do too with my embroidery thing here is I'm going to actually put in, you know, Quilter Station 2021. I'm going to embroidery that in down here, and it's just some stem stitch just to finish, you know, putting in information. But this is what we, you know, started with, and it was just a fantastic project. Thank you so much, Liz. Really, really creative, and she's just so sweet. I really love her. I'm very fortunate in that because I have a shop, I get to participate in market and like expo, and I really get to meet some of these designers and chat with them and talk and get to know them, and they're just so nice, and the creativity, it's just so very positive. So I feel very blessed in that respect. After we had Liz in the morning, then in the afternoon we had Linda Lautenschlager, who is from Chessie and Me. And I'll show you what we did with her real quickly. We got to do a box where we, you know, painted it and a couple different colors and waxed it and did some distressing, and you've got this box that you can, you know, that you can have. And then we had a project that, and I'm gonna actually show you my haul that I got from her little pop-up shop as well, but she had this project for us. Now, if you can see here, this little guy is actually mounted on that house. You can kind of get it up there where you can see it. So once that's stitched, you can mount it on that house, which is really cool. And then open up the house, put all kinds of little things in there. And then the most beautiful needle roll and a little pin cushion. Really, really nice. And she had everything in this bag. So you had really cool. Jessie and me, you know, your threads, and you had your linen and your wool. And then look at this. Compliments of Jessie and me. Of course, Jessie is her cat. So, love this. Isn't that cool? Really neat, 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 neat. So that's really fun. I went ahead, I did my house there because I was afraid that if I didn't, and we had stations all set up so you could go up and paint. I was afraid that if I didn't and I came home with it, it would never get done. And I was like, you know what? I want to actually finish these projects. So that was from Linda. And she had a pop-up shop. Now, she's actually the only one that I purchased specifically from. And I'll just show you real quickly. When you were looking at, and I'll try to insert some pictures, but when you were looking at all the models that they had set up, the pictures on these patterns, this is the Mighty Oak sampler, do not, I should have taken it out of plastic, I'm sorry. Just do not do the model justice. Oh gosh, maybe I won't take it out. This is, okay, that one does not want to come out of it, it's plastic. I don't know, hopefully you can see that. Mighty Oak sampler. Beautiful, beautiful. And then I love a yellow house. So the Gettysburg 1862 sampler. Love, love, love this one. But what I always think of with Jessie and me, with Linda, are her little kits. And if you have been watching me, you know that I finished her whale watch kit this summer. And so I was really after her kits. I love this Quaker House token. And her kits come complete, usually with silks, needle, linen, everything. I got another little summer one, Summer Liberty. Christmas Cabin. Halloween Mini. Love that. Isn't that sweet? And she actually, you know, kind of pushes you to do different stitching, use different stitches. So anyway, so excited about that. So I was a little bit of stash enhancement in the middle of it, but there you go. And then, of course, the evening we had gone out to dinner. Sunday, the 12th, is Carol, Saltbox Stitcher's birthday. So on Friday night, we had contacted Carol Prairie, Kay and I, and then Roberta Lyle and Jean Lee from the attic took Carol to dinner for her birthday. And we just had a really lovely dinner. It was a very nice time. It's just so inspirational talking to stitchers, and especially stitchers like Jean and Carol, who, you know, when you watch their floss tubes, you see all the eye candy, right? You know what they've been doing for years and years and years. And I was very excited to meet Carol. She's actually a Missouri girl, even though she's a Florida transplant. And I was just very excited, and I was so pleased that she allowed us to take her away from, I think, kind of maybe her group that she was hanging with, but for Friday night to take her to dinner for her birthday. And happy birthday again, Carol. So it was a lot of fun. So that was Friday night. And then Saturday morning, we had the lovely Beth Twist from Heartstring Samplery. And she just is so sweet. She gave us the loveliest set of patterns. Flowers for Bees. If you don't know, Beth is a beekeeper. So that's one of her passions, right? And so she gave us the linen to go, enough linen to go with this that you could actually either make the three little pillows, or you could stitch it all as one piece. I'm going to do the three little pillows because look how she packaged this. Absolutely love it. These are 3 fabrics that you can go ahead and use on the back. And look at this. Look how that is packaged up with some eyelash Chanel from Lady Dot. Oh, just so inspirational. I didn't even want to take this apart, as you can tell, because it's just beautiful. So until I'm ready to actually stitch this for spring, for next, this is gonna be perfect for my, you know, my trencher bowl for next year, or my dough bowl, one of the two. I'm gonna leave it just like that because it's just so beautiful. So that was from Beth. And then in the afternoon, we had the absolutely best thing from Alma Allen of Blackbird Designs. And pull out what she's so sweet and just dignified and generous with her time, and funny. And she talked about just all kinds of things. She gave us a lot of what she called Barbisms, some stories about Barb, and just shared, you know, things from their just long friendship. And it was just, it would make you want to tear up and then laugh, and it just, you know, all the feels, right? All the good things. And in her generosity, she created an absolutely beautiful design called Delicious Autumn. And I'm going to insert pictures of these things too, so you can see the models. It's a little bag, and there was this whole package, and then there's a little drum. Of course, this is full of all of the stuff to do. You got the linen for each one of them. You got the ribbon. You've got the backing fabric. You've got the lovely threads to go with. Delicious Autumn. And you'll remember at the beginning I said that I started one of these projects because I wanted to have started something at retreat. And this is what I picked up. So this is my progress on Delicious Autumn. Whoops, and this is stitched on 36 count Ren from Picture This Plus. So I'm hoping to get that finished in the next day or so. And it just, it's Blackbird Designs, what else can you say? And in her generosity, she also had these big boxes, and she started to pass out of print charts, ladies. Absolutely, ladies and gents, because I might have some guys. You just could have knocked everybody over with a feather. Here's Sweetheart Sampler. Now this one to me was even cooler because Mary Atherton, who used to own the Old Mill Stitchery here in Liberty, Missouri, was also there as a retreat attendee. So I had Mary sign the back above, and then Alma signed above Mary's name, says, "For Christine, enjoy this gift from Barb, Alma Allen 2021. I mean, it's just beautiful. And this came out in 2002. Then she pulls out a Quaker Garden. So excited about this one. And gives everybody one of these. Which, unbelievable, right? And then she didn't stop there. She gives us Garden of Life. And in her generosity, after she finished, she stood up there, I bet an hour and a half at least, signing for everybody and chatting with you and taking a picture. And on this one, she signed mine, you know, Christine, enjoy fondly, Alma Allen, with a little star in the 2021. And then we took a picture, which I had posted on Instagram, but I just loved it. I absolutely just loved it. Just the most generous soul, most generous soul. So that wrapped up the end of the day, and everybody, you know, chatting and talking and laughing and stitching, and it just was a fantastic retreat. So I highly recommend it if you get the opportunity. All right, and because, you know, I did show you a little stash enhancement, I am going to show you, because I'm going to kind of stay on that Blackbird theme. Rita, who owns the Quilter Station, has not only, you know, quilting fabrics, and also she's now really kind of getting into more cross stitch, has an unbelievable wool stash. And she had some things, you know, set up, because she stayed open late for stitchers to go over and purchase. And she had this Blackbird Designs book weekend, and some kits made up for some of the projects. And so I did buy one of the kits. I was very excited about that. So I got that book and that kit. And then we went back over in between Beth and Alma coming, and wanted to kind of hit the shop and do some shopping, and because Rita had pulled out some new things. Now, I already had this book, The Raven, and I'm going to show you the back, because that's where what we're really looking for, right? Is the full quilt. Beautiful, beautiful quilt. And she had it all kitted up. Look at that. Like all this deliciousness. And each inside this bag is another individual bag, if you can kind of see. Block 1, block 2, block. So the coolest thing is you can just go out and you pull out one block, and you've got everything there to do that one block. So we can just pull out a block at a time, and then in no time we're going to have a finished quilt. Just thrilled. My friend Kay, and then Becky, and I believe Roberta got one as well. We're all going to try to do that kind of as a wool along, right? So stitch along one a month, and we think that's kind of doable. And hopefully by the end we'll all have the Raven. She had the model up on the wall, which is absolutely beautiful, just drop dead beautiful. And so I'm very excited about that. The other thing that was kind of an insert, which I'm sure you've heard everybody talking about, is Maggie Bononami. I'm very fortunate that we don't live too far from Maggie's shop, the Purple Turnip, out in Lexington. So I've been out there a couple of times, and I think I have shown probably my Maggie bag that I was able to purchase from her. Kay and I were actually out at the Purple Turnip when Maggie was actually designing and working on these. And we went back in 2 weeks, because she said, you know, I'll have a couple of these in 2 weeks. And so we were each able to get one. Love this. It's signed by Maggie on the back. So people were asking to take pictures of my bag. And but Maggie did just a kind of impromptu trunk show on Friday night. And she's just a hoot. I mean, talk about a creative, free spirit. Just love her. So when I was over at Quilter Station, we were kind of in the back, and then I'm there once a month, but you do kind of just zip in and you stitch, and then you leave, and you don't really kind of get out into the shop unless maybe you need something specific. So I was kind of looking, and Maggie had brought in all these pieces and these rugs and these models and things like that, and it was just so inspiring. So one of the trips that we had been out to Maggie's place, she actually had this model, and she had it for sale. It's called Holly, Jolly Holly. And I am still kicking myself for not having purchased the model. But I was in and digging around in the back, and Rita had one kit, and I pulled that out and was like, woo-hoo-hoo, I'm finally gonna get to do this Boughs of Holly. So I bought that. So I was very excited about that. And then this is a model that Maggie actually showed during her little trunk show of one that she had done. And I bought this one because she just had a few. It was very limited number of kits of this particular one done. So I was really excited about this. It's called Best of Summertime, and she did this one, came out with this one in 2020. So I was able to grab one of these kits. And then I did buy Rita. And Rita at Quilter Station, she's the only one who will have this particular fabric. It's from the line that's coming out in February or March, because there's a story behind it, but she will be the only store that actually has this particular color run of this fabric. So she was selling it in 1 and 5 yard pieces, so I had to get a piece of that. And I believe that's it from all of my shopping from the retreat. But I've got a few other things that I want to show, mostly because I want to make sure I do the shout outs for the creators of those things that I purchased. And I've shown quite a few things from Michelle at UndertheWoolenwillow. I joined her fall berry club, and so in August we received the sunflower berry. Look at that. Hold it like this so you can see it better. Oh, love, love, love this little sunflower charm on there. So sweet. So that came in the mail. I was very happy about that. Michelle is so talented. And on one of her Friday updates, I just happened to get lucky and saw this and thought, oh, I love this. This is perfect to go into my trencher. Look at that Blackbird fabric. So this was also from Michelle at UndertheWoolenwillow. Love, love, love that. Then from Terri at the Old Needleshop, I got this. Isn't that sweet? Terri is just a finisher extraordinaire. Just some pumpkin colored wool. Love it. And this is sturdy. Sturdy. I'd say there's probably some walnut shells and also some fiber fill, because you can kind of feel the mix. But very sturdy. Love this. So I got that from Terri. I did get, of course, you know me, I did get a new project bag from Judie, Buckleberrie Quilts. I'm going to put that up there so you can kind of see Buckleberrie Quilts. Love, love, love. Just nice, nice, nice. And then as usual, she puts in a thank you. So I'm going to open this and see what came in this bag. Aw. Aw. Sampling of memories, LaDonna. She sent me a thread ring. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Judie. Love it. Absolutely love it. With Judie's bags, it's very nice to get. She always includes some little something in there, which is just really cool. So anyway, thank you, Judie. Her bags are great. Buckleberrie Quilts, and it's Buckle, B-U-C-K-L-E, Berry is B-E-R-R-I-E, Quilts. But I'll make sure I put it down in the box as well. Okay. And then I just have one other thing that I'm going to show you real quick, because I'm really running long here on time. I ordered this book, and it's Threads of Useful Learning, and it's the Westtown School Samplers. And the main reason I ordered this, we shouldn't say the main reason, of course, is the book itself and the content. But for 14 years, we lived just north of Westtown School, and the physician that I worked for, the surgeon I worked for, his 2 older daughters actually attended the Westtown School. It's in Westchester, Pennsylvania. It's Chester County, just outside of Philly. And there are a ton of samplers that came out of the Westtown School. It's a Quaker school, And it's just so inspirational. And you can go in and you can order this book, and it's just the history in it is just fantastic. And it's a heavy book. I mean, there's a lot in it. Like here's medallion and spot motif samplers. Look at that. It's just beautiful. So I just kind of felt a little bit of a, kind of a bit of a personal connection. There's a gorgeous marking sampler. Really beautiful. Very similar, reminds me of the Lucinda Fraser that just came out. But these are all products of the teaching that came out of the Westtown School. And so most of these were done late 1700s to early 1800s. And anyway, so just really beautiful, heavy book. So I thought I would just share that. It's really, really fun. Okay, and I'm sure I'm probably missing some things, but we're already coming up on an hour, so I want to kind of move on through. So let's talk about just saying. All right, so I want to talk threads, thread bling, thread winders, thread drops, thread rings, thread keeps, all of these things that are now coming out that we're all using for our threads. You know, it used to be you bought your DMC. The only thing you really had to do with it was put it on bobbins, which I bobbinated. I still bobbinate. I've got, oh gosh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of the plastic boxes that bobbin boxes. I can see them from where I am, full of DMC, and I have a whole nother drawer in a dresser that is just full, that is not even on bobbins. It's just loose. But nowadays, you've got all kinds of things that you can use to help you with your threads. So I'm just going to quickly kind of run through some of these things. And the first I'm going to start with are thread winders. This is a thread winder. This is a thread winder. Now, you can kind of see there's a hole in this one, not in this one. This one is from RNRWoodworksKY, and it's R, N is in Nancy, R, Woodworks, Kentucky. And I'll put all this information below. This one is from Creative Keeps Studio, my good friend Sherry Ward. I met her now at 2 different retreats. I bought this one from her at the Midwest Cross Stitch Retreat. Now she has the hole added in so that you can put, your thread through. And basically what you do is you'll take a skein of floss, and I was going to actually do this and then I didn't get my floss out. Anyway, if you go and look at Brenda and Laura, which everybody probably already has seen from this last week. I believe Laura actually demonstrated, but on this one you can put your end piece, through here. You pull your floss out of your DMC, and this is a 9-inch, so you're going to get an 18-inch strand of floss, and then you just basically wind it around, right, and then clip it at the one end, and you've got your floss. And then you can take one of these cards like I've been showing you, right? And you can do your little knot the way that if you look at a skein of floss, you can do your little knot, right onto one of your cards, and then put your cards onto a ring. Put your number on the back or your name on the back, depending upon what you're putting on the card, and put that in your project bag. So you saw me show you earlier my Sarah Stewart Hardiman. I did not go through that process. All my DMC was on bobbins, but there's only like 7 colors, so I just left it on the bobbin on the ring because it's not real bulky. I'm doing who we affectionately call Walter, which is 1 inch, 1 1/4 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 inch Anne, oh good gravy, I forgot the last name because all I ever think of is Walter. Walter requires 3 thread rings full of bobbins of DMC. So it's much easier to pull them off of the bobbin, put them on a thread card, and put them on a ring, and it's much more manageable than having bulky bobbins. So these thread winders, though, come in super handy because then you can just do that real quickly, cut it, put them onto your thread drop, and you've got a specific length. I have a couple of these from R&R. This particular one is in oak because I have a chart stand, which I will feature in a couple of weeks, that this particular one matches because they actually had me send the color of my stain of my tables in my living room and matched the stain for my chart stand by my Stitchy chair, and then did a thread winder to match that as well. And this one I believe is out of maple, and I'm not sure exactly what Sherry has hers made out of, but they're also solid wood. It's very sturdy. So those are kind of cool. So you heard me kind of go through that process, right? You know, thread drops, all kinds of thread drops. Here are thread drops that I have for the shop. So it's just on the front and then on the back, thread name and color. They get hole punched at either end. And that's kind of fun, right? So then you got to have the thread ring to put them on. I'm going to show you what mine, this is crazy. I have a nice hook over here on the wall. Woo, and look at that. Thread rings. And I'm going to tell you that probably 75-80% of these were all made by my friend Becky. But the fun thing is, things that we've stitched together or are stitching together, things that she knew I was working on that she made a corresponding one. Each one of them to me is a memory. This one is so special. Last year for our birthdays, because we're both October babies, we stitched At First Cock Crow from Blackbird Designs, and so she made us thread keeps to go. So I used it, and then I finished my project, and I put it on here, and I absolutely love them. So I love looking at them. I love knowing that, you know, it was a special memory or a project or something. So, but I hang them all, and then when I need one, I go and I just unhook it and attach it to whatever project. Here's another kind of special one from my friend Kristen. She made me a Tula Pink project bag and attached this sweet little guy to it. Isn't that nice? So that's a nice one. In the shop, I actually have some. This is Love My Needlework Shop. So you can just get all kinds. They're so creative. You saw me show one from Judie. There's all kinds of things. Another way that you can, if you don't want to use the cards, you know, these cards, right, is you can use thread keeps. This particular one, you know, is a pumpkin. I like this one because it has a lot of little holes. You can get one like this. There's the Queen thread keep. She's a Scottish queen. You can get Schoolgirl in blue velvet. See the holes drilled across here. If you really love the vintage Halloween, there's a really cool one. People get so creative with these. It's just, here's a Merry Christmas based off old postcards. That's really neat. Then I have some in the shop. This is kind of a cool one. Sleigh bells. Are you listening? Look at that. All laser cut, which is really neat. Or maybe you want one like this for your summertime stitching or your springtime stitching, ladybug. Or it's coming up fall, so maybe you want a pumpkin. This has been a super popular one. Use not fat, use fluffy, which is really cool. And the squirrel. But so there, you know, there's some art to it as well as being functional. These are all done out of alder wood. Isn't that cute? So cute. So there's just all kinds of things that you can, that you can use. So everything thread, right? Everything thread. So I hope that kind of gave you a little bit of information. Maybe you saw some things that you hadn't seen. I'm going to give away some of these things, but I'm also going to give away a chart because I don't want to get away from that. This is from Bent Creek's Smiling Back Jack. And it's about that time we're all stitching fall and Halloween. So I'm going to give this away. And if you're interested in this chart, just use the word Jack in your comment. Okay? Smiling Back Jack from Bent Creek. I'm going to give away one of these thread winders. And if you want this one, use the word winder. Okay. I'm going to give away a pack of thread drops. So if you'd like these, just use the word drops. If you would like to have a keep, I'm going to give away the Primitive White Pumpkin thread keep. Just use the word keep. And because my friend Becky is like, extraordinary with her thread keeps, she has agreed, and I'm going to let one of you who would love to have one of her thread keeps get one of her thread keeps, and it's going to be on me. So if you're interested in one of her thread rings, use the word rings. Okay, so that's winder, drops, rings, keep, and for the chart, Jack. And we're going to have 5 giveaways for next time. So that'll be fun, fun, fun. So let's wrap this up. I'm going to announce who our giveaway winners were from last time. If you'll remember, I had crossed over my 3,000 subscriber. And thank you for all of those of you who have subscribed. So I'm giving away a $30 gift card to my shop. $30 gift. And the word you had to use was gift. And the winner of that was Karen Dennis. Karen Dennis. Popping up a picture here, Karen. Congratulations. Please email me to the email address I'll have in the box, and then I will give you the coupon code for the shop, and you'll be able to use that. Then the next thing that I had was a set of 3, and if you'll remember, the set of 3 were from Erica Michaels, and it was Hope, Faith, and Love. These 3 charts. These actually include the gauze and everything to stitch on, right? Okay. And the winner of these 3 were Amber Johnson. Amber Johnson. And thank you, Amber. Congratulations. Please email me with your mailing address, and I'll get these right out to you. And the needle minder, which was the angel, goes to Nancy Summa, or Summa, S-U-M-M-A, Nancy, the needle minder. Congratulations. And again, Nancy, please email me to the email address below with your physical mailing address, and I will get that out to you. If you are participating in this week's giveaways, please remember to not use, giveaway, the word giveaway or freebie or anything like that. You have to be 18 to enter because you have to send me your mailing address, and so we need to make sure that that's all good. I think that that's about it. I will be closing the shop again for just a couple of days in October. I'm going to be flying out to Rhode Island for my husband and our birthdays. Our birthdays are only 2 days apart. So I'm going to be flying out there, and we're going to do a little jaunt up into New England to do a little leaf looking, and going up into Maine. It should be fun. I'm excited about that little trip. So, but that's only going to be for a couple of days in October. Other than that, the shop is fully stocked. We're ready to go there. I got a whole pile of stuff here. I think I have talked about everything that I needed to talk about. I hope I didn't miss anybody's questions. Thank you for hanging. I know it's been a long video. When it's been a month, you just end up with so much stuff, and I had so much going on. I'm spending just every minute I can with my little granddaughter. She's just absolutely adorable. It's just been a good couple of weeks. Thank you for all your lovely comments. Questions. If I've missed a question, I apologize. I try to go back through. I've been so busy. I just today actually went through and finished off reading the last of the comments that I had missed from prior. I hope I got everybody. But again, thank you, and happy Sunday, and take care. Bye-bye.